Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon if you're joining us from Switzerland, CET, or South Africa, like our guest today, Alana. How are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic. Thanks so much. I'm joining from Scotland. I've heard the weather is the same over there. Is that right?
It's beautiful here.
Oh, is it?
We
Oh,
got summer. We got summer.
oh, lovely, lovely. We've got Rhea who's actually moderating our comments today. She also lives in South Africa, and she was saying it was
Okay.
going to be very rainy this week, so maybe in a different part of the country.
Could be. Could be.
Could be, absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us. We are live across all of Alana's social media and Smart Purse social media for a really interesting discussion about women and money and that we have, and also the mindset behind that. So today we're really excited to have one of our financial advisors who partners with us, Alana, who is a money mindset expert, but she also looks at the psychology behind money in a very different way than I've heard anybody speak about it before. So we're very excited to start the conversation with you today. We've got our comments open, so any questions, please just put in. We will try to answer all of them at the end. So, Alana, why don't we start by sharing, if you can share your story with us and how you got interested in understanding money.
Okay, with pleasure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me on the call. I'm very excited today to be talking. Very interesting topic, love-hate relationship. I grew up hating money. I was petrified of it. It caused all sorts of anxieties and fears. And growing up, I grew up in South Africa. I now live in Switzerland and have been for the last 15 years. But I grew up with a mom who was widowed at a young age with 5 children. I knew what it was like to go
Wow.
without. I knew what scarcity meant firsthand. I knew what it was like to not have what the other cool kids had at school. And therefore, I developed this very difficult, complicated relationship with money. And when I did start working, I must have vowed subconsciously that one day when I have children, my kids are going to have a lifestyle that I never had. And literally, that's what happened. When my children did come along, I gave them everything of the best, more than I could afford. And it got me into a lot of financial problems. My husband comes from a very different family, so he didn't understand what I was doing.
Mhm.
And every conversation around money was fighting. He would fight how much I was spending, and I would try and avoid having these conversations until I felt a need to actually go and get it sorted out, to go and get help. And I went for money coaching, where we delve into the understanding of the behavior of our money situation. And when I did that,
Mm-hmm.
it was quite a painful process, incredibly painful. But at the same time, I realized I knew
Yeah.
somebody that does that. I knew somebody that avoids. I knew somebody that lies to their husbands. I knew someone that had secrets from their partner. I started recognizing through what we
Mm-hmm.
were learning that there were so many people around me that had the same issues as me. Because often it's not just you, you think it's just you. And I realized that I wanted to become a coach
Yeah.
so I could help them. So I went on and studied coaching. I've also done NLP practicing, and I'm also doing life coaching as well, where I work with a lot of people with relationships, because relationships is the first thing that suffers when it comes to money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's so powerful, especially when you have been and then turned that around and went the total opposite way with your children. And great for you to actually seeing that that was a problem and going ahead and getting help. Many people don't do that, and that it is such a taboo subject,
Yeah.
and that's why when you start opening up, you realize that a lot of people are in the exact same
Exactly.
situations. Powerful that you're going on to help other women as well now, and men as well.
I do some men. I work with them in a VIP program, but it's predominantly women, empowering women to understand money that I didn't understand growing up.
Yeah, excellent. And that's why you align so much with Smart Purse and our values as well, to try and empower every woman to be financially independent, but to actually thrive financially as well. So our chat today is titled Women and Money. Can you tell us why this title kind of resonates and how that kind of plays out in real life?
Yeah, I think growing up, we learn from our mothers, we learn from our grandmothers. We learn that money is for men. It's a man's responsibility to take care of the finances. We get told that our husbands will look after us, that our partners will look after us. But that's not really true. It's not their responsibility to look after the woman. The woman's very capable, women are very capable of earning money and being financially empowered. Because what I've seen over the years is a lot of financial abuse that happens in couples, where if a man is controlling the money, there's often, we talk about domestic violence, physical violence, there's financial violence as well. And women need to understand money. They need to be empowered when it comes to money. They need to make their own money. A man is not your insurance policy or your pension fund. You need to learn that you can earn. A lot of times when we look at, I know the work that I've worked with many, many women, the husband's got bankrupt, or the husband's lost his job, or he's retired early, or he's become retrenched, or his business didn't work.
You've separated. Yeah.
Women need to know they can earn money and they don't have to ask permission from a partner, because that in itself is very archaic. So women can actually earn their own money and save, invest, and set up money for their future.
Absolutely. And it's not, we actually had a viral post on this recently on our Instagram channel, and it sparked a lot of heated debate. And that was about why women need to have their own money, because without having your own money, you don't have choice. And a lot of women shared their stories, and it was like, because people think they think, well, that's going to happen to somebody else. We're in a great relationship, but just planning, you never know what lies ahead, and it might not always be financial abuse. You need the money, as you've said. It can be an accident, it can be a layoff. Like, you never know what's going to happen. So just always keeping yourself a career, your own separate bank account is just so powerful and needed. In this day and age, there's so many opportunities for women. It's not what it was, for when our mothers were younger. Now, we've only got you for half an hour. I'm conscious on time here. I could sit and talk to you. Let's get into the mindset stuff, which a lot of people are doing. What would you say are some of the common money habits or beliefs that you've seen people struggle with?
Limiting beliefs, believing the glass ceiling's there, realizing that they can actually raise the glass ceiling, they can actually earn more, they can ask for promotion, they can ask for the raise, they can create more money in their business. And it comes from believing in themselves.
Yeah.
It comes from believing that there's enough. There's enough. I always say to my clients that are single, there's enough men out there. Excuse me. There's enough of everything out there. It's just a different mindset. And when you're stuck in a mindset that there's a shortage, there's not enough, you start seeing the evidence that there's not enough. When you start believing there's enough, there will be enough.
Yeah.
So limiting beliefs is something I see very, very often, that they can't earn more than a certain amount, that they won't have enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And it says you will see what you look for. And the great thing is, if you are in that kind of lack and that scarcity mentality, the great news is you can change it. It can be changed, and that's what you help people with every single day. Now, do you think yourself then, you've already mentioned it briefly, about that our money mindset is cultivated for everybody in their childhood?
100%. I always say that our mothers hold up a mirror to us from before we're even born, and we take on their behaviors, their beliefs, and their patterns. It becomes our patterns, becomes our beliefs. We get it from our parents, we then get it from school, we get it from religion, and then we get it from society. And these beliefs and behaviors we take on as if they're ours, without even questioning it. A lot of the time,
Absolutely. And
a lot of the time, these beliefs are from our mothers, they're taken on from our grandmothers that might have lived through the war, World War II, or whatever war there was, lots of different wars throughout the world. These not enoughness comes from there, where in actual fact now with technology and the way things are and different currencies, there's enough of everything. But we take on the belief of our mothers and grandmothers.
Without even realizing, I can honestly, I can resonate with that so much. And I feel like, for myself, I'm a sole parent. It's just myself and my son. And when I became in the process of just starting a business, and it was a lot of outlay, it wasn't the perfect time or the easiest few years, but from that I started having mums, for single mums it's hard and this and that, and I was thinking I'm not going to have that as my mindset. Like, I'm not accepting that that's the reality, and saying no, there's lots of opportunities, things can change, and I never let that sink in. But it's very easy to see if you're getting told the same things continually, that you can buy into that and to mirror what it is that other people believe for you. So that was a really great answer, and something to think about if you've got kids. It's just being conscious about what it is you see around them, because you're forming those beliefs for them, which they'll have in adulthood. Now, how would you say, so if people are in that kind of lack mentality, like what can the people do to start changing our beliefs about money?
First of all, they need to be aware. They need to have the self-awareness that they are what they are thinking. I always think when you want a healthy body, you put in healthy food. When you want a healthy mind and healthy thoughts, you have to think healthy thoughts. It's as simple as that. And a lot of the time, we're so stuck in the scarcity that it's like a spiral, and it's very difficult to get off that hamster wheel of just the same thoughts, the negative thoughts. Those negative thoughts are in our subconscious and are thoughts from the past, and they're thoughts related to fear. We need to understand where they come from, identify with it, possibly work with somebody that can help them get out of that state and into a situation where they're seeing the abundance. They're working for they're taking the opportunities. As I say, not leaving money on the table. They're creating something with the money. They're making money work for them. It's a completely different mindset as opposed to our parents. For example, years ago, we were told by our parents, save money, save money, save money. Now we don't tell people to save money. We tell people budget, save for an emergency fund, and invest your money.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a total change of belief. And the older generation, lots of the older generation will still save, and in cash as well, which is just depreciating in value when it's sitting in the drawer. So changing those beliefs and our habits will make us feel powerful. And then we can start to quickly see the change in the rest of our lives. Now, you talk a lot about online. If you're not following Alana already, follow Rhea, who's moderating. If you're able to put Alana's Alana media links on there, that would be fantastic. And also, while you're at it, Alana has a really fantastic quiz where you can kind of find out find out more about your money mindset and what you can do about it. To leave that link there for the viewers as well, that would be brilliant. But Alana is really fascinating to follow on social media if you're not following her already, because she talks about money archetypes. Are you able to talk about that in a little bit more detail for our audience?
My favorite subject. So that is there's 8 different archetypes. And for anybody that's heard of Carl Jung, he was a Swiss philosopher in the 1900s. He developed the archetypes. Now, these are money archetypes, and it talks about the state of our money right now. So these can change. For instance, you could be the martyr archetype, where you're giving away your money, you're helping others, you're doing for others and not for yourself, or you don't see the worth in yourself, so therefore you're giving your money away. Every archetype has got a shadow and a light. So there might be, for instance, in the martyr, you're kind, you're compassionate, you're helping others, but at the other time you're doing it and you're self-sabotaging to your own detriment. A lot of the self-sabotaging ones need to change. So for anyone that takes the quiz, if your self-sabotaging scores are, and you will see it when you get the report, you need to change it. For instance, the victim. Nobody wants to be the victim. It's not cool to be called a victim, but the victim is somebody that's living in the past, had a betrayal of some sort, a divorce, a let down, and feels betrayed. This archetype, this characteristic and trait doesn't only stay with your money, it affects every area of your life. The same that the relationship that you have with money is linked to every single relationship that you have. For instance, if you become empowered financially, you will be empowered at work, in your relationship, as a parent. It really means you taking control. Now, in the archetypes, you will also see about the innocent. And a lot of women have got this innocent mentality. It's not my responsibility to take care of my finances. It's my partner's, it's my husband's.
Yeah.
The innocent has got her head in the sand. She self-sabotages. She doesn't want to know what's going on in a bank account. 80% of the women that I work with have never, ever kept a budget. They don't think it's their responsibility. They think they spend, and when the money's finished, payday comes and they get another salary. They need to be able to know where their money's going and not wonder where it went. And it starts with budgeting. But a lot of women, myself included, if somebody said to me years ago, budget, it was like they were swearing at me. They were saying bad things to me. And I took it personally. Budgeting is giving
ruin the
control.
fun.
They're ruining my fun. They're telling me how I can't spend money.
Power.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And people see it as something that's going to kind of like stop helping you do what you enjoy, but actually it allows you to do a lot more of what you enjoy when you budget, and you don't feel the guilt around it as well. Because I've, in my 20s, just having a good time. Like a lot of people, wish I was investing, but if I'd been budgeting, then life would have been much easier now. So yeah, budgeting is freedom instead of a jail, which you can think of when you're younger or just starting to change your money mindset.
Amanda, what's interesting as well is with their partners, they often don't talk about money. And when they do start talking about money, I always say to them, if you don't have money dates and you don't talk about money and be aligned with your partner, your husband, whoever it is that you're in a relationship with, you will, if you're not talking about money, you will fight about money, I guarantee you. Because when that divorce comes or that separation,
so true.
You're not going to be harmonious about how much money you deserve or how much money you need to pay for maintenance. There's going to be arguments and fights about it. So while you are in the relationship, talk about money, have money dates. I did something for Valentine's Day all about money dates, and probably people said it's the last thing they want to talk about on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. I do understand a little bit about that, but that was so powerful. It says you either talk about money or you're going to fight about money. I think that should be a real encouragement to our males that are watching the program to start those conversations. That's fantastic. And do you have any tips at all about how the people can even start that conversation?
To just be aware, to just speak about it, make a date and have a money conversation. Find out that there's no assumptions happening. There's often couples getting into relationships, and there's this whole assumption, well, as soon as we're in, I'm stopping and having babies. And the guy's thinking, as soon as you're in and we're living together, there's 2 salaries and we're going to buy a yacht. They don't speak about it. Things automatically happen, and then there's resentment and anger that needs to be dealt with. It's really about being transparent, being aligned, and if not with a partner, with yourself. I see a question actually came up. I just saw through the corner of my eye. Is it different between men and women? Everybody, we all have relationships with money. And I think it's men struggle as much as women. However, they're not the first person they're not the first to admit it. Women are a lot more open and transparent when it comes to saying, I need help. Men struggle a little bit more with that. And see, the question came up from Olga. Hi, Olga. Men do actually struggle just as much, and often sometimes even more. I am working at the moment with guys where I wasn't in the past, and a lot of them have got real deep-seated, rooted money issues that come up. All of it comes from our childhood. It comes from financial generational trauma that we've experienced. It doesn't go away. It needs to be dealt with. We need to understand it. And there's a process of dealing with it, of clearing it, of letting go, of releasing it. And when that happens, you're able then to start seeing the possibilities, seeing the opportunities.
Excellent. And that's something that you help people with on a day-to-day basis. It's so interesting because women, I know this talk is about women's relationship with money, but as you mentioned, some clients are male as well, and that's a different set of emotions and things they learn in childhood, where the man always needs to look after the woman, and when something like an accident happens, a layoff, then that's a lot of kind of guilt and shame that they need to work through as well, without their different emotional childhood traumas, and we all need to learn together. And why they need to be teaching it in schools, really, but they're not, until they do that, we are here to help educate people on everything they need to know about finances. So
Amanda, always
that's amazing. Are you just, when you're talking,
I was just going to say one thing. You said not about gender. There's no discrimination when it comes to financial issues or any issues around money. I often think people can have a lot of money, some of the women I work with, but feel this not enoughness, or feel that they're going to lose it all, or have fear around money, as well as the same fear that clients come to me that have got very little money and don't know how they're going to pay their rent at the end of the month. There's no discrimination. It doesn't. A poverty mindset can affect sometimes wealthy people as well as people that don't have money. I see it on many, many different levels.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd read an interesting fact. It might be 80 of, not 100% sure which one it is, but it's very high, of people who win the lottery in the United States end up in, I think, 3 years.
Or worse.
So,
or worse.
Even, people think that you're going to win the lottery and all the problems are going to be solved. But if you've not worked on your money mindset, you're still going to have the same beliefs like lots of your clients who have the money and still live in the state of lack and fear, which is such a shame, to have to get possibly what so many people are striving for and not be able to enjoy it. No, I'm just conscious about the time here, that we've got 5 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, Alana, please drop them into the chat just now. Rhea, if you're able to send them through on WhatsApp as well if we have missed anything, and we'll just continue our conversation. And if there's any comments or questions, we can get to them at the end. So we actually just, we were talking about kind of the mindset. So for people that live in abundance and they live in scarcity, how, if people are finding themselves in that scarcity mindset, what's the one thing, or what do you suggest to start taking the steps to change that?
If you're in a scarcity mindset and you feel that there's not enough money coming in, the first thing you can do is start looking at your budget. Start looking at where your money is going, that you don't wonder where it went, because so many of us are paying things that we don't understand or don't even realize we're paying. Second thing is, if you've got a credit card, do you know what the interest is on that credit card? Are you paying the credit card in full every month? Another thing is, what about all the small little payments that you don't pay by cash? It just goes through on your card without you even realizing it. The Amazon Prime, the Netflix, whatever. There's so many places that you can actually cut back and save money. Besides, bringing more money in. Bringing more money in, looking for opportunities of earning more money. Maybe you're in a job that's not earning enough money and you really like that job. Taking on a second job. I know lots of people that have done that. I've done that myself in the past, where you can be bringing in more income. There's many, many ways to take control of your finances, but it becomes changing from the victim mentality and saying, I need to change. I need to do something differently. When you are a victim and you want to stay a victim, it's very easy to be in that state. But all you're doing is self-sabotaging your future, your finances.
Yeah, that is so well said as well. At the moment, certainly in the UK, we just officially entered the recession last week. So a lot of negativity on the news. So if you're watching too much news, you can see how it can easily get into that scarcity mindset and think, oh, people are losing their jobs, this is happening. Situation, if you have lost your job or have been affected by the recession, but instead of feeling like there's nothing you can do about it, as you said, look for opportunities instead of just feeling like you have no control, because when you feel like you have no control, you give the power away. So especially because lots of our audience are women, there's so many opportunities online now where you can put, if any of you get small children like me, my son's 7, the amount of time I spend in the car sitting being a taxi service and waiting for one class to finish and the next one to begin, they're all little pockets of time that you can be building something or working on things from your phone. Absolutely. So it's just finding how much time you've got. Yeah, the opportunities.
Amanda, I've got a wonderful little story to end with here, because I know we're nearly on the hour. I had a client during COVID time. Everything shut down in Switzerland, everything, including hairdressers, and she was a hairdresser. She took her computer home and she saw all her clients that had come to her that came for hair coloring. And she created a little video that she made of how to color your hair. And she sent every client of hers their color in a little tube and how to actually mix it with the plastic gloves and everything in a little packages, and got the post office to collect it and charge them for the color, even though she wouldn't charge them the full price because she didn't give them the blow dry. But the color she sent them, I think it was a Kevin Murphy hair color, whatever, the people were able to color their hair at home, because 90% of these women were all still working on Zoom and wanted to color their roots. Now, this was a woman that literally said, she came to me and she said, how do I keep going? My business is closed. And I said, we have to do a brainstorm. We have to think. We have to become creative. And this is how she actually still brought in money during lockdown. So when somebody says to me, oh, there's no opportunities, they must come and talk to me. I'll give them opportunities.
Oh, I love that. I love that story so much, Alana. Thanks very much for sharing that. So yeah, so if you are feeling like they're at the moment, especially if you're in the UK with a recession, please reach out to Alana today. We've got her social media has kindly put our social media links in the chat. So is there any, what would you say the next steps were then to kind of to work with you? Drop you a DM, go onto your website?
Just go into mindformoneycoaching.online and take the quiz. And once you've done the quiz, there's a box to tick if you want to do a consultation with me. It's free. I'll give you advice already from there, just by what's coming up in your scores, what's coming up in your archetype scores. I'll explain them to you. And if it is something I do, I'm starting a group on the 19th of March is the next group. I've got one at the moment, but we're nearly finished. And it's really about changing your money, but it's about changing you. You work on you. You change your money, you change your relationships, you change everything in your life. And a lot of women that have so many, I mean, you can go onto Google reviews and see some of the Google reviews, or on my website and see testimonials. Everybody that I've worked with has had dramatic transformation.
Fantastic. That's so great. I'm just going to have a look here. Just before we go, we do have one message here. What you have control rather than what you don't. Yeah, absolutely, Louisa. Definitely, that's that. Focus on what you can control, because you can't control a global pandemic, a recession, and just thinking about that too much can make you definitely feel like you're out of control and easily fall into the victim archetype. For sharing that, Louisa. So. If you want to dive deeper as well into anything else about money, please feel free to download today. We've just had a big upgrade, and that takes you through everything from working on your money mindset all the way through to learning how to invest and plan for a fabulous retirement and everything in between. You can also connect with our fabulous finance community within the chat feature on there too. And if you just tuned in, don't worry, we will have the replay on our app from tomorrow as well. So all that's left to say is thank you so much, Alana, for joining us today. I really honestly enjoyed our conversation so much.
It's an absolute pleasure and lovely to meet you.
Lovely to meet you as well. Absolutely lovely to meet you too, Alana. So thank you everyone who's enjoyed your day, and thank you again, Alana, for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank you for the ladies listening.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.